Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sense of South Jersey for another fragrance review episode. Today, we're going to touch on a fragrance that, to me, is just Christmas in a bottle. And this is an old school fragrance. It's a classic Italian barbershop fragrance and one that I've liked for a long time that I've been saving for this moment here, Christmas Eve, to review. I'm going to make it my scent of the evening and my scent of the morning tomorrow. This is a release from 1955, and it's a fougere composition, and it is none other than Pino Silvestre. So I'm not sure if any of you guys know about this one or not. I'm sure a lot do. It's an old school classic. So what we'll do, we'll look at the box and the bottle presentation, talk about some of the Pino Silvestre products that I have. I'll talk about the notes, talk about its performance on my skin, give it my overall thoughts and opinion, and then of course my overall rating. So what we'll do first, we'll start with the box. This box is pretty cool. You can see it's green, a little reflective there. Sorry, I think this is the new edition box. It kind of came with this little gift here. It was like a mini bottle of the actual bottle of fragrance. It says Pino Silvestre with what looks like be like a pine tree there. It's in yellow and it says original. And you can see what looks like, you know, the silhouettes of pine trees in like a forest. It's an eau de toilette concentration. This is a 4.2 ounce bottle. So this is a 120 ml bottle, pretty big bottle. On the top, you have Pino Silvestre original there, you can see. And then on the back, you've got some brand information. There's a lot of writing in there, a couple different languages, but and then it talks about, you know, how it was created in the 50s and some information about the company. On the side here, you can see this. It's got what looks to be a pine tree symbol, pine gem essence. So this is something that is really supposed to resemble pine, fresh cut pine, tree, fir, balsam. That is like the whole vibe with this fragrance here. And on the bottom, you got a batch code, barcode, and some brand information. And this is what it says here. It says, the purest tears trickle onto the pine cones, releasing the fresh scent of the pine needles, intense and balmy fragrance. So that's the description it has on the side there. So I took the bottle out of the box already. So let's take a look at the bottle here. The bottle's pretty cool. It actually looks just like a pine cone. There, you can see that there. That's pretty cool. I've always thought this was such a cool bottle. As you can check that one out too. The sprayer, you can twist it any way you want. It's built in. It's a transparent. It's got the grating on the side to make it look like a pine cone. It really gives off a green, just Christmas vibe to it. And you got here Pino Silvestre original, just like the box, eau de toilette, natural spray. And the distribution, the top here is plastic and it's got the grates in it too, so engravings to look like a pine cone or pine tree. We'll take a look at the distribution. Pretty good, comes out in a puff. A little bit of a design flaw, as you can see. This is getting all soaking wet because the burst that comes out hits against the spray, the sides of the spray hits against the sides of this built-in sprayer there. And so you press down on it at the top. So it kind of gets everywhere. I noticed that. It's the one thing I think is the drawback about the presentation. But either way, it's such a minor detail. I think that it's such a cool looking bottle. And on the bottom, you've got some raised lettering on the glass along with the sticker. So it has both with its batch code on it too. Some of the other things that I got to match this scent, I got the Aftershave. And believe it or not, this one is a kind of more of a neon green box, brighter green instead of the darker green. So I don't know if this is an older edition, but it's an aftershave spray. So same thing, it has that distribution, same style, same problem here. It'll leak on the top when you spray it because some of the actual fragrance gets stuck in the sides there when it sprays out. But the spray is pretty cool. So when I actually shaved with it before I did this video, and I sprayed some on the bottom of my neck, then I sprayed some in my hand, it's easier to get just the amount out that you want than say a traditional splash aftershave bottle. So this is the first time I've ever had an aftershave spray for Pino. It smells just the same, it smells really good. They actually also have a shower gel that's also shaped like a pine cone. This is a big bottle. This is probably the best smelling fragrance shower gel to match the cologne that I own. I own a lot of them, but this one up there with Ted Lapidus, and it really smells like the cologne, and it's very fresh, and it's actually a green color too. Really cool. Check this out. Not expensive at all. They also carry a deodorant body spray. Really nice scent. And then what's most important if you're going to use it for shaving, aftershave balm too. So I got all that stuff just because, number one, it's not an expensive fragrance and I like to layer it. So, and if I do shave, I have a thicker beard, so I need that for reduction in any skin irritation. But let's talk about the notes for Pino Silvestre. So the top notes, you have bergamot, lavender, basil, lemon, and juniper berries. In the heart of the fragrance, you have some spice, carnation, nutmeg, geranium, and thyme, and then fir tree. And then in the base, you got amber, cedar, musk, tonka bean, and moss. So the notes that stand out the most to me in the top are absolutely the lemon and the basil. And then in the heart, I think that the thyme and the fir, the balsam fir, that really stands out. That's what gives it that really strong pine scent. And in the base, definitely the cedar and the moss. So the other notes I don't think are as pronounced as those are. Those are the ones that I feel are the most prominent in the scent. So as far as performance goes, Pino Silvestre is not that great. It's probably a solid 5-6 hours max. Second half of the fragrance, I'm talking hour 3 and up, it's a skin scent. You know, it projects maybe for 45 minutes. The sillage is okay. It's not that great of a performer. You have to use a lot of it. I'm using like 6 to 8 sprays of this just so I can get that, you know, extra hour out of it. It's really not the best performer in the world, but it's okay. You know, it's not, I don't think it's designed for that. It kind of has that barbershop vibe to it where it's a refresher scent. It's not necessarily meant for it to be a really strong performer. So, you know, I would say it's mediocre at best in terms of performance. But my thoughts on it is, again, you know, I love it because it's Christmas in a bottle. And in the first time I ever smelled it, I think I almost was a little turned off because it's a little harsh. It's very herbal and earthy. And then once it dries down, you get that real strong pine scent. And I love the smell of a Christmas tree. This is like that fresh cut pine wood, almost like tree sap scent that if you ever remember from being young and touching a pine tree or tree sap, and it's got that distinct I guess aroma or scent that it just doesn't fade from your memory. And this really is like as close to that as you can get in terms of a fragrance. So I really like this one. It's a fresh, crisp Italian Alps scent. Like you're outside, it's very fresh, refreshing scent. I really enjoy it. It's like right out of the shower type of spray as well. So this scent I think is best for the daytime. I think it's best for the cooler weather. I think it's very versatile, as in I would wear this to work. I could wear this out of the casual setting. Night out, date night, probably not. You know, as a younger guy, it might be a little bit harder to pull off in that setting. Maybe some of the older gentlemen that have worn this their whole life and that's their signature scent, they might consistently wear this, you know, no matter what the setting is. But I definitely think fall, winter, and early spring when it's still cool out, during the day and maybe the early evening, and casual use for sure. So this is a great office scent. It's never going to offend anybody. In fact, it's very pleasant, I think, you know, if you're into this type of style of fragrance. So definitely check this one out. I really, really like it. And it just reminds me of Christmas, which is my favorite holiday ever. So, you know, this is something that is special and it's kind of nostalgic in that way. I smell it and I think of Christmases from when I was younger. And, you know, I'm really happy that I was able to do a review on it. And on top of it, it smells good. So I would remind, this reminds me a lot of Agua Brava by Antonio Puig and Acqua di Selva by Visconti di Madrone. So this is kind of a mix of both of those. This one isn't as old as Acqua di Selva, but I think it's older than Agua Brava, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's talk about the overall rating for Pino Silvestre. So let's talk about the presentation. I really like it. I'm going to give the presentation, I like the box, but I really like the bottle. I'm going to give the presentation a 9 out of 10. The only flaw is that this stuff is the sprayer juice gets everywhere because it's too narrow and the spray cloud just breaks against the walls and of the sprayer. But I like the fact that it's built in. Performance, it's going to have to score pretty low. It's going to give it a 5 out of 10 on performance because it's not a great performer. Although I'm not upset with it about it. I wasn't expecting much. Acqua di Selva, which is one of my favorite fragrances ever, doesn't perform that well. So, you know, and again, it's not expensive. You get what you pay for in that sense too. The smell, I'm going to give it an 8.5. I love pine tree. It's a little bit harsh in the opening, the smell, but once it dries down, I'm talking within 10 minutes, it's just very pleasant to my nose at least. So overall rating for Pino Silvestre, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Definitely check this one out. If you like Christmas scents, this is a go-to one. Let me know what your thoughts are on the review. If you guys have any experience with Pino Silvestre or any other fragrances that are similar to it that maybe I haven't tried. You know, I'm going to have to close it out here for the year. I just want everyone to know how much fun I've had making these videos for 2019. I'm looking really forward to 2020, and I want all of you to have a safe and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you soon. Take care.